Welcome to Hero Villains! Who do you think would win in Beyonder vs. Upside Down Man when absolute power confronts magical darkness? Beyonder is one of the most powerful entities in Marvel. He first appeared in the Secret Wars event, a being that exists beyond the multiverse, nearly omnipotent and not bound by the laws of space or time. Beyonder can restructure reality, resurrect the dead, and erase entire galaxies with a single thought. His power once surpassed the total energy of the entire multiverse, making his actions at times unpredictable and dangerous. Upside Down Man is the embodiment of the dark side of magic in DC. He is the source of dark magic, existing within a twisted dimension where all laws are reversed. Upside Down Man manipulates souls, bends reality through primordial sorcery, and devours the will of the most powerful sorcerers. If Beyonder represents pure cosmic power, then Upside Down Man is a metaphysical nightmare, where magic becomes an abyss that swallows all reason. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please press the subscribe button and remember to turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you very much. Beyonder is an entity that exists beyond all dimensions, dwelling at the boundary where the very concept of power nearly becomes meaningless. With almost absolute power, Beyonder not only has the ability to restructure reality, but can also bend the nature of life, death, and even free will itself. Yet what makes him truly unique is not merely his power. At times, Beyonder longed to become the greatest savior, wishing to understand human emotions and motivations. But in that very process, he nearly became the greatest threat humanity had ever faced. The curiosity of an omnipotent being can be more dangerous than malice, because each of his experiments has the potential to shake the entire multiverse. In the event Defenders Beyond, Beyonder's identity was revealed more clearly. He was, in fact, a product created by the Celestials, a reality engineer designed to monitor and adjust the structure of the Marvel multiverse. After the First Great War among the Celestials and the battle against First Firmament, they established the Omega Council to prevent similar catastrophes from recurring while preserving the order of the entire universe. From that point on, Beyonder was not merely a mysterious force standing outside all existence, but also proof of the ambition of the creators themselves to control fate. The truth behind Beyonder is not simply that of an omnipotent entity, but part of a grand design formed since the dawn of the multiverse. The Beyonders did not appear randomly. They were created with a clear purpose: to destroy the primordial Celestials, ancient beings whose power far surpassed that of the current Celestials. Those first Celestials once possessed enough might to defeat First Firmament in a single strike. First Firmament was the original form of the Marvel Universe, existing even before the eternity of the 8th universe and surpassing that entity in terms of power level. When looking back at the various versions of Beyonder that have appeared, including the form associated with the Cosmic Cube, many once believed they were separate variants. However, they were merely stages of development he was forced to undergo in order to integrate with the true Beyonder race. That maturation process was not complete. It was interrupted by Molecule Man, leaving him like a child, possessing infinite energy but lacking full awareness. Before being corrected, he was only a transitional step in a much longer evolutionary journey. Yet, do not let that mislead you. Even at that stage, Beyonder's power still exceeded the combined energy of the entire Marvel multiverse, a level of power sufficient to rewrite every law of existence with a fleeting thought, and it is said to be millions of times greater. The current Omega Beyonder has evolved and grown far stronger than before. Omega Beyonder exists on a layer of reality where even the most terrifying concepts become insignificant. The outside is not a boundary to him, but merely a stopping point. The Black Winter once spread terror across the realms, but before Omega Beyonder, that catastrophe was nothing more than a passing breeze. In God of Stories, Loki admitted that he was weaker than Beyonder. This was not an ordinary Loki, but a god who had reached a level capable of sealing and imprisoning all other gods. When a being who holds control over the narrative of divinity itself must bow and acknowledge the disparity, that alone demonstrates just how terrifying the position of Omega Beyonder truly is. Omega Beyonder exists beyond the third cosmos, the realm inhabited by Lifebringer, one who represents existence, and Anti, all who represents nothingness. It is the primordial battlefield of being and non-being, where the very concept of time gradually dissolves if an entity remains there for too long. When the defenders entered the land of cannot be and should not be, Glorian affirmed that with the power of Beyonder, everything could be restarted infinitely until absolute perfection is achieved. To explore the ultimate nature of desire, he created an unprecedented experiment, turning the entire Earth into a chessboard for his curiosity. In Central Park of New York City, right in the middle of the peaceful sheep meadow, a massive circular structure suddenly appeared. It quickly attracted many of the most powerful heroes on the planet. Hulk, Spider-Man, along with members of the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men all arrived to investigate the mysterious phenomenon. When they stepped into the strange structure, everything immediately transformed. Space twisted, light bent, and the entire group was transported to a region of space-time near a distant galaxy far beyond the reach of Earth. But Beyonder did not summon only the protectors of the world. In a similar structure within the same area, numerous infamous villains were also drawn in. Absorbing Man, Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, Enchantress, Kang, Lizard, Molecule Man, Ultron, Wrecking Crew, and even Galactus, the being who had devoured countless planets, were all present. Several months later, Beyonder came to Earth to continue his study of humanity and desire. Previously, he had never possessed a true physical form of his own, but now he created one for himself, resembling a composite of the bodies of many participants in the Secret Wars, so that he could walk among humanity and satisfy his desire to experience life in this world. Beyonder continued experimenting with experiencing romantic relationships with humans. During a journey to the Andromeda Galaxy in search of the Avengers, he was responsible for their enemy, Nebula, escaping. To study the impact of the desire for revenge, Beyonder transformed Thor's enemy, the Dark Elf Algrim, into the powerful threat known as Curse. He also rescued Elizabeth, two young men, then known as Talisman, from imprisonment in another dimensional world. In all versions, the Beyonder shares the common ability to manipulate reality on a nearly limitless scale. I truly hope you will. Subscribe to the channel, that will help us a great deal, and you are the most wonderful person. Thank you very much. Now let us talk about Upside Down. The Upside Down Man is not merely a dark sorcerer. He is the living embodiment of magic in its most twisted and malevolent state, an entity emerging from the dark multiverse with a nature that is pure supernatural power distorted beyond recognition. His origin is closely tied to Hecate, the primordial embodiment of all magic in the multiverse. Because he is composed entirely of magic, he does not simply wield it, he is magic itself. That power places him on a level considered equal to Hecate. Before the other place, also known as the Great Darkness, was shaped, it existed only as a cold, metaphysical void. The Upside Down Man transformed it into his own domain and turned it into the prison of the dark multiverse. From the undefined emptiness, he forged a chaotic reality marked by his own imprint, where laws are bent and order is erased. Even a small aspect of the other place is enough to burn down heaven. Before Eclipso was created by the great powers of heaven and hell, the Upside Down Man may have been the only entity ever capable of absorbing Hecate. At one point, he truly devoured her. Even though Hecate was weakened at that time, in the deepest darkness where magic becomes a living nightmare, the Upside Down Man stood as a warning that magic, when left unchecked, can give birth to its own monsters. The pact between the Upside Down Man and Wonder Woman was one of the strangest and most dangerous moments in the history of magic. Instead of confronting her directly, he offered her a tempting gift. He granted Wonder Woman the ability to access the full scope of magical sources she had ever touched, from the chaos magic of Mordru to a significant portion of Hecate's primordial power, yet the Upside Down Man has never truly been destroyed. Perhaps he cannot be erased at all. If the DC multiverse operates under the law of conservation of energy, then magic exists eternally. It may change form, but it never disappears. The only way to stop him is imprisonment. He was sealed within the mind of Zatanna through Hecate's magic, like trapping a storm inside a fragile glass bottle. Even while bound, he continued to manipulate the flow of magic that Zatanna used. In the unseen darkness, he rose as the leader of the other kind, a race of cosmic monsters so terrifying that both heaven and hell were forced to form an alliance against them. Their threat was so great that even the presence manifested in heaven at that time. As the opposite and equal of Hecate, the upside-down man had access to the witchfire within the collective unconscious, and he extinguished it. That act was not merely an attack, but a declaration of war against the very foundation of magic itself. Upside Down is not simply a monster emerging from the shadows. In battle with Bobo, he was cut apart, yet his wound closed almost instantly. Bobo and Man-Bat quickly became victims at his hands. Death came cold and decisive. Swamp Thing could not withstand him either, collapsing upon contact with the very source of dark power that Upside Down manipulates. He does not merely use darkness, he is the embodiment of the otherworld and has infected the surrounding black void with that very essence. Even when Dr. Fate unleashed a full power assault, Upside Down survived. This demonstrates that he is not an entity easily erased by conventional magic. Later, the Upside Down Man and the Shadow Army invaded Earth-Zero, pushing the world to the brink of annihilation. The heroes managed to banish Pariah into a pocket universe, but the corrupted darkness shifted to possess Deathstroke, further deepening the chaos. Only when Black Adam summoned the Divine Lightning once more was that energy able to purge the darkness from Deathstroke, freeing the Upside Down Man and other villains from possession. From his own body, he can generate other beings, as if the night itself fractures into pieces and each fragment carries its own twisted soul. From the other place, he watches the primary Earth like a patient and cold observer. Distance is not a barrier, for he can freely enter and leave that world at will. He sensed that John Constantine was channeling magic through his own bloodstream, and immediately recognized it as demon blood. He also detected the mark of Hecate hidden deep within Wonder Woman. To him, magic is not merely energy, but a scent, a heartbeat, an echo resounding through the void. His offensive power is so terrifying that a single surge of magical energy he unleashed was enough to destroy Swamp Thing. He can fly at high speed and manipulate the terrain of the other place according to his will. As a being of the other kind, he does not age and cannot be killed by conventional means. He can also alter his form at will, choosing an appearance that the human mind can temporarily accept. Yet, that is only a shell. Behind that form lies a nature beyond the concepts of life and death, waiting for the opportunity to devour everything. After being imprisoned in the other place, the Upside Down Man infected the empty void and transformed it into a world of his own design. The Upside Down Man can regenerate instantly from any injury his body suffers. Upside Down Man sensed a foreign source of energy touching his dark domain. It was not familiar magic from the dark multiverse, but a power that existed beyond all frameworks. He immediately regarded Beyonder as a threat to the balance he controlled. Without hesitation, he initiated the confrontation. Beyonder at first merely observed like a curious entity standing apart, but when the darkness extended its claws toward him, he was forced to engage. A clash between primordial magic and reality warping power began. Upside Down Man opened a pitch-black gateway leading to his dimension, unleashing torrents of magical energy intended to consume his opponent. The space around Beyonder immediately bent like a mirror being twisted. He created another layer of reality to test the limits of his attacker's power. Darkness rapidly spread. Upside Down Man shifted into grotesque forms, summoning power from the dark multiverse to engulf the battlefield. Everything was eroded by black magic. Beyonder responded by altering the laws of physics. He turned darkness into light and even reversed the flow of time to erase attacks that had just been launched. The disparity began to reveal itself. Refusing to accept defeat, Upside Down Man attempted to invade his opponent's mind, using cosmic awareness and psychic force to drag Beyonder into the dark multiverse. He believed that on his own ground he would hold the advantage. But Beyonder is not easily manipulated. He generated countless reflective avatars and manipulated fate to anticipate every intention before it could take shape. The dimensions that sustained Upside Down Man began collapsing one by one as Beyonder erased the very foundation of their existence. In a final effort, Upside Down Man connected directly to the supreme source of magic, unleashing a wave capable of sweeping away the entire multiverse. Darkness surged like an ocean, swallowing every star, seeking to transform Beyonder into part of an eternal night. Beyonder answered with power drawn from the Beyond realm, where he exists as a totality untouched by anything. With a single thought, he reversed his opponent's existence. The concept of darkness within the battlefield field was erased. Black magic disintegrated into harmless energy. Upside Down Man was sealed within a separate reality, empty and without escape. Beyonder did not destroy him, for beings of that nature are difficult to erase completely. Instead, he chose eternal imprisonment. The winner? Beyonder. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section. Follow me if you like. That is today's video. Thank you very much.